The urbanization rate is 33%, which means, I'll give you an example. Every single month, more than 10 lakh people buy a one-way ticket to four major metro cities of India: Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai. 10 lakh people every month buying a one-way ticket. And when they buy a one-way ticket, they have to go and stay somewhere, right? They will not buy the houses, but they will go and rent them. They may not buy in the first year or the second year or the third year, but eventually they will buy. So as long as these people are moving in, and urbanization will keep on happening because people will keep on moving from villages and small towns to bigger cities. I have myself moved from a small town to Delhi. So initially we did not buy a house, but in the fourth or fifth year we bought one. In the eighth year we bought another. So this is the story of Indian real estate. People, urbanization will keep on happening. The demand will always be there. These people will keep on moving. They may not buy initially because they do not have sufficient funds, sufficient income, but they will have it eventually and then they will buy. So this is the reason government is coming up with housing for all schemes and 100 smart cities, because they know that such kind of demand exists. So as and when the people will move, the real estate will grow. And from a $140 billion industry, it will grow to a $1 trillion industry. And this is not what I am saying. This is what Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs says, that by 2030, Indian real estate will be a $1 trillion market. Now, when I'm talking about such a big industry, when I'm talking about such a big market, if you look at any other segment, if you look at any other sector, the largest market player will have 40 to 50% of the market share. The top five players will have 80 to 90% market share. You look at online shopping, you have Amazon as a leader. You look at food delivery, you have Zomato, Uber Eats as market leaders. You look at EdTech, you have Byju's as a leader. So in all the segments, in all the industries, you will see market leaders, and market leaders have 80 to 90% of the market share. However, in Indian real estate, it's an extremely defragmented market. If I talk about the developers, there are more than 1 lakh developers in India. And I'm pretty sure you would yourself know a lot of people, some of your relatives who are doing their own development and then selling the properties. If I talk about the aggregators, the brokers, 5 years back, there were more than 2.5 million aggregators. There are more than 2.5 million brokers. So the largest, I'll come on to the point, the largest player, which was last month, Godrej, they only have 1% market share. Imagine, I'm talking about a $140 billion industry as of now, and the largest player only has 1% market share. We were the largest aggregator, and we had approximately 1.5% market share, wherein we helped in selling Godrej or in selling other developers, Lodha, Tata, all those. So what's in it for you, and how will it change the future of the coming generations? Every decade, Indian economy has organized a sector. So in 1980s, in late 1980s, we organized the equity market after the Harshad Mehta scam. In late 90s, we organized the insurance sector. So 20 years back, when you guys were born, every third or fourth person used to be an insurance agent. One third of your relatives were selling insurance, and it was an extremely defragmented market. So what happened? Government decided that we have to regulate this market. And whenever you try to regulate a market, you cannot regulate a market when there are millions of players in the market. The first thing that you do is you reduce the number of players in the market. So for example, if there are 10 lakh players, you cannot keep a tab on 10 lakh players. You can keep a tab on, let's say, 100 players or 200 players. So whenever any industry is supposed to be regulated, they raise the entry barriers to the market. How do they raise the entry barriers? Well, for insurance, they introduce the IRDA. They came up with IRDA, and IRDA came up with exams. So if you want to be an insurance agent, you have to pass the exam. If you want to be an insurance company, there were certain guidelines set. So not everyone could be an insurance agent. And as a result, there are, as of today, 23 listed companies in insurance, which have more than 90% market share. So this market was slowly organized. If I talk about 2000s, we saw dot-coms getting organized, market leaders coming up. In 2010, we saw the edtech of being organized and coming up. And if I talk about the last 4 or 5 years, the maximum amount of regulations have come in the real estate sector. We saw RERA coming in. We saw demonetization happen, which impacted real estate a lot. We saw GST coming in, which impacted real estate sector a lot. So RERA, GST plus demonetization, all of these combined have raised the entry barriers for real estate. Now, not everyone can be a real estate broker. So earlier, you used to have this mom and pop shop. Everyone used to be a real estate broker. Everyone used to know where can you buy a flat for rent, where can you buy a flat, find a flat to buy. This changed with RERA. Now, if you want to sell a house, if you want to be a real estate broker, you have to be RERA registered. So what they did was they raised the entry barriers again in real estate. Because of this, the number of players came down from 2.5 million to 0.5 million. And this will again come down from 0.5 million to maybe 1,000 or maybe 2,000, because government cannot keep a track of 0.5 million. So the second largest sector of India, which is real estate, is being organized. So any company which just happen to be there, and the people who happen to be working in this sector will grow and will grow a lot, because at tech, you would have seen people doing exceptionally well with tech. You would have seen people doing exceptionally well with e-commerce, but these are small segments. These are small industries in comparison to real estate. To give you an example, one real estate transaction has the same GTV, gross transactional value, as 1 lakh FMCG transactions. So the revenue that you generate by doing 1 lakh FMCG transactions is lesser or same than one real estate transaction. The amount of money you make by doing one real estate transaction is more or less the same amount of money you make by doing 1 lakh FMCG transactions. So this sector, you don't consider the making your careers in real estate, because you have this sector belongs to the people, to everyone. And when a sector belongs to everyone, you see all kinds of people doing this job. And to give my own example, when I got selected in Mercedes Benz, and I had an option to join Square Yachts. I rejected Mercedes Benz and I joined Square Yachts. My parents were after my life. They did not want me to join a real estate brokerage. They said, "यार तुम क्या कर रहे हो? तुमने MBA इस दिन के लिए करा था कि तुम जाके Square Yachts join कर सको. Join Mercedes Benz. It's such a established firm. It's such a big company. Why would you want to even consider this?" I said, "No, this is where my heart is, and I would be joining this." So at that time, the market was completely defragmented, completely unorganized. Everyone used to be a real estate broker. A lot of things have changed now. The market is being organized. Players have started coming in. So, for example, 5 years back, you would not see a lot of Tata, Godrej, Lodha coming up. Now you can see a lot of big developers who are consolidating the market share, as well as the real estate aggregators like Square Yards and Rock 360, who are consolidating their market shares as well. So in terms of opportunities for you, I honestly believe that as of now, the amount of hiring that will be done in real estate will be more than the hiring which will be done in any other sector combined, because this was the sector that did exceptionally well even in the lockdown. Why? देखो तीन बेसिक चीज है, रोटी कपड़ा मकान. These three things, roti, kapda, and makan, will never go out of fashion. If you are building your career in any of these three, you will always be in business. And when the pandemic, when the unexpected happens, and when the pandemic hit, मैं अगर रोटी की बात करता हूँ, people, if they were eating 4 times a day, they started eating 2 times a day for their saving. If they were buying new clothes every month, they decided that they don't need new clothes every month. They bought new clothes maybe every quarter. But what about real estate? Ultimately, you have to go down and sleep under a roof. So real estate will always be in demand. So makan is the most basic necessity. And if you are building a career in this, you will never run out of business. And to be very honest, if I talk about Square Yards, we had our best ever month in March, when the COVID had hit, when the lockdowns were happening across the country. And in April, we broke our March's record. Then our best ever month was April. And in May, we broke April's record. And in June, we again did exceptionally well. Why? People were losing jobs right, left, and center. The economy was in lockdown. If I talk about the quarter one of the financial year, zero automobile sales happened in the entire country. This is when we did approximately 4,000 transactions in 4 months, because people realize that ultimately they have to come down and sleep below a roof and they needed bigger homes. So as and when this sector is organized, anyone who is present in this market will grow. Why? Because first, the sector is increasing. It will grow from a $140 billion industry to a $1 trillion industry. Second, the number of players in the market will keep on reducing, and you will see more educated people, more MBAs, more doctors, more PhDs joining real estate and making their career out of it. So, and one more thing, why you should, why real estate is really helpful, and why real estate will help in the revival of the Indian economy. So, when you do one real estate transaction, you can't even imagine the number of players, number of parties that gain by doing one real estate transaction. So, let's assume today I have bought a property of 1 CR in Mumbai. Let's say of Lodha. I have bought a 1 CR property. I have bought it through Square Yards. So when I have bought it through Square Yards will get commission out of it, and the salesperson who sold, his salary, his leader salary, the CRM, the customer relationship managers, and all those, at least 5 people will get paid out of that. Now this balance money, this 95 lakhs will go to Lodha, and the client will not have this 95 lakhs ready for him. So he will opt for mortgage. He will opt for home loan. Let's assume he took a loan of 80 lakh rupees. And when he takes a loan of 80 lakh rupees, the bankers get paid. The bankers, RM, and the person who arranged for the loan, his senior, they all got paid. Then this money goes to Lodha, and Lodha takes the profit, distribute it within themselves, and then they pass it along for the construction to the contractors. The contractors took their own profit margin, they pay their own people, and then pass it along to the subcontractors. Those subcontractors, they pass it along to the laborers. Once the flat is ready, you go and you buy the furnitures and all those things, and you spend some more money in the market, which helps the furniture shops. So if you look at the stakeholders, if you look at uh, the number of people you are adding value to, it's more than 1,000. In fact, I think it's more than 5,000 in just one real estate transaction. So guys, this is it from my side. I want to understand, let's take the discussion forward and make it interactive. I want, you guys can ask me any kind of questions you want related to real estate, related to sales. And even if it's not related to real estate or not related to sales, you can ask me that.
Hello, sir.
Sir.
Hi.
Can you explain what is the actual model of Square Yards, how they earn money, and what is that commission part?
Okay, so we are the real estate aggregators. We are India's largest real estate aggregator. So I'll tell you the background of how Square Yards started. So Tanush Shourie, the CEO of the company, he used to be the youngest executive director of Nomura International, and he was investing a lot of money in Indian real estate. And he was not investing, his wife was investing. So his wife realized, Kanika ma'am realized that there is a huge gap in the Indian real estate sector, and people don't know where their money is going in. And people don't have time to do the due diligence because it's an unfragmented market. So we started Square Yards with the thought process that we will help people invest in the right properties in Square Yards, and slowly and gradually we became the largest players. So we have more than 5,000, not I think more than 10,000 properties in India, and we reach out to people. We tell them that we will help them make money through real estate, and they go through us because we don't charge them anything. So whenever we are charging, we are not charging the developers. We are not charging the clients. We are charging the developers. So in every transaction, we make 3 to 5%.
Okay, sir.
And the clients go through us. The client go through us because they get unbiased advice. That is one. Second, we do property identification. So we identify the best available option in the country. Second, we help them with transaction support. So with transaction support, I mean the kind of, we help them with the paperwork, we help them with the inventory, we help them with the pricing, all those things. Third, we help them with the mortgage. So if they're buying a property and they cannot take a loan, they want to take a loan, we provide them, we are a one-stop shop. We provide them with everything, and they don't even have to move out of their homes. So you can buy a property sitting at your home on a video call with Square Yards, and we will get everything done. You will not even have to move out of your house. So we arrange for mortgage, we arrange for loan, and then we provide them dedicated relationship managers who take care of their property requirements, their documentation, their agreements, all those things. And we also give them post-sale services. And then if they want to rent out the property or if they want to resell the property, they can again come back to us and we will do it for them.
Okay, sir. That means you take the commission from the developers and from the financial services.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
This is Subhi Sinha.
Hi,
Uh,
Subi.
Sir, what type of role we can get in real estate?
Okay. So there are, in terms of designations, every company have their own designations. But if I talk about the future of real estate and the growth of job opportunities, it will all be about sales. It will all be about relationship building. So if you are looking for a role in real estate, you should make yourself better in developing relationships with people, in building rapport with people, and in gaining their trust so that they can invest money on your behalf. And all of that is a part of sales. So if you know how to sell, if you know what to sell, then you can get a, I mean, all the real estate companies, all the real estate brokerages are as of now are hiring.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Yeah, Nadim, carry on. You can.
Yes, Nadine, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir. Actually, means it's basically it's related to your means your background's question, because you are from electrical background, na, sir. So
That is completely irrelevant in with the kind of work that I'm doing right now.
yeah, so I'm asking that how it is background from electrical engineering and directly divert to the real estate, means is this something?
No, it's not related. It's not related at all. Me doing an MBA was purely out of chance. One of my friends suggested going for the coaching, and I went for the coaching, and I cracked CAT, and then I got into the MBA. But when I was sitting in the placement procedures, I wanted to go for a startup so that I can grow faster in a shorter span of time. And I really liked the way Square Yards was presented to me in the placement round, and I went ahead with the company. I don't even know why I did engineering. If I could go back in time, I would not.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, man.
Hi. Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Mayank. I'm an MBA finance student here at Imperial. I have one question for you. Like, if you consider today's scenario, most of the people, like, the, they are, either employed by the service sector majorly, right? And these people believe in, doing everything on, like on a just-in-time basis, right? So most of their mindset is like, why do we need to buy a property when we can rent it on a reasonable price? And then, instead of paying mortgages, we can just pay the rent and, live wherever we want to, at whatever standard of living we want. So this never ending question of renting versus buying, how does it affect the real estate industry? And what are your, what are the companies, or rather the real estate's tactics to promote buying of real estate in the country?
Okay, a very good question. So if I, let's say I had to buy or rent, if it was for my end use, I will not buy the property. I will rent it. Why? The rental yields in India is only 2%. So you annually you are only paying 2% of property value as a rent. So it makes a lot of sense financially to go for a rent than buying. But if I were to invest and if I were to make money out of real estate, I will buy a residential property on the outskirts of the city where I'm expecting development to come in. Where I'm expecting major roads, major infrastructure, metros, airports, or hospitals or social infrastructure to come in. Because when I'm buying initially in the outskirts, when there is no development, I'll be buying them at a much cheaper price. And when the development comes, the price will increase. So for an end user, it makes a lot of sense to go for a rental than buying the property. For an investor, it makes a lot of sense to buy a property in the outside of the city in a developing location and make money out of it.
Very true, sir. Thank you for that.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Nadeem.
Hello.
Hi.
Sir, I am Nadim Regulare and I'm MBA marketing student, sir. And as I know, sir, you started your journey as a portfolio manager in 2015. Now you are VP of a company within a 5 year and 4 months. So how was your journey, sir? That you means we are interested to know about it. And sir, one more thing I have noticed in that that you are not more than 1 year in single position. So means how you promote it as means what actually industry want from management training that you want to promote it. And also, sir, you are VP of Oman the 9 months before. You are 9 months working there and again transfer to Dubai. Means not more than 1 year you are in single position as you means handling that time. So means actually what is the key point of your success, sir?
Okay. To be very honest, uh, we look at 2, 3 things from management students who join us. One is they should be passionate. They should be passionate about doing something big in life. That is one. Second, they should be coachable. They should be willing to learn. They should be willing to absorb. Third, they should be the hardest working people in the room. So my success came primarily from these 3 things only. I was really coachable. I always wanted to learn. I still do. I still reach out to all the people around me, and I try to learn as much as I can from them. That is one. I have always been the hardest working guy in the room. So I there was one fine day. It was in July of 2015, 1 month after I had joined Square Yards, and I saw that we were working for 12 hours a day. We were working for 7 days a week. So I asked myself this question. I said, Farhan, either if you want to work for Square Yards, if you want to put in so much of efforts by staying away from your family, by not enjoying your life, you better make something out of your life, or you quit Square Yards right now. So I thought about it for 2, 3 hours, and then I decided that I will make something big out of Square Yards if I am working so hard. So it's like I took a shortcut, and I grew. I took 10 years worth of growth in 5 years. But when I took 10 years worth of growth in 5 years, I had to do 10 years worth of hard work in 5 years. And I had to go through 10 years worth of struggle in 5 years. So if you're a hardworking guy and if you are coachable, trust me, you will grow a lot.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Hi, Arun.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Patanjali.
Yes, sir. My question is, if any person want to start their career in this industry, then what are the opportunity and what should he study before start the career?
Okay. First, there are enough opportunities. People are always hiring in real estate. We are always hiring in square yards, and then there are other real estate companies as well, 360 and around Prop Tiger. They also keep on hiring. Third, if you want to make it through, you don't need to study something. You have to show them that you are willing to work the hardest. You can be the hardest working person in the room, and any one of you, if you have any kind of financial liabilities, if you have any kind of loans, you make the right candidates for the companies like us, because we know that you don't have a fallback option. You just cannot afford to fail, and you have to earn a lot of money in a shorter span of time. So we look for such candidates who will not quit.
Okay, sir.
Hello. So Kirti here.
Hi, Kirti.
Hi, sir. So my question is, despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Square Yards quarter one results revenue grown up to 13% and property transaction jumped to 82%. So why this drastic changes happened this during this COVID-19?
Okay. So first, we changed the way we were working. So from 12 hours a day, we went to 16 hours a day of work. We were driven very, very aggressively. The CEO himself was working 18 hours a day. That is one. Second, we always structure deals which are, which are catering to the requirements to a particular time. So we realize what kind of deals may work, what kind of developers, what kind of projects may work in a pandemic like this, and we sold them. Third, people were losing money in all other asset classes. So people were losing money in commodities, people were losing money in equities, people were losing money everywhere else. Real estate was the only thing which was safe and secure, which was not coming down. So they thought that this is a safer asset class and people diverted their funds to real estate. Third, in pandemic and lockdown, a lot of people had to spend times in their homes. And when they were spending times in their homes, they realized that the homes are not big enough. So they had a kind of mindset that, okay, once everything goes back to normal, I will have to move to a bigger home, a bigger house.
Hello.
So
Good afternoon.
Hi, Arun.
Kirti, continue, Kirti.
yes. So what are the challenges company faced like before COVID-19? Uh, People come and visit directly, but it's not possible during this pandemic. So what are the challenges, sir?
To be very honest, we did not. I mean, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. We were ready for it because we are a tech-based aggregator, so we had the technology ready for it. We moved, and we have an asset-light model. So the advantage of if you look at any successful startup of the last 20 years, all of them have the asset-light model. So the advantage of asset-light model is that you don't have any asset. You only have the manpower, and you can train or that manpower or technology, you can mold it any way you want. So for example, we have an IPM team which is expected to sell Dubai properties or international properties, and we realize that we can't sell Dubai properties as of now in lockdown. So we trained the entire IPM team on Indian properties, and we sold Indian properties. So the challenges we face were about regarding these, training the team on a new market, on a new product, and then going aggressive, handling rejections. There are people who are even abusing that. Why are you even calling me at this point of time? This is not. Are you out of your mind? Do you think someone will buy a property? So the challenges are to face objections like this, to face rejections like this, and go on.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sunubia here.
Hi, Sunubia.
Sir, the question from my side to you is that in the beginning you said that it was little bit difficult for you to convince your parents to go into the real estate industry rather than going into Mercedes Benz, right?
Yes.
So don't you think it is a little bit important to take real estate as a part of curriculum into the studies for the postgraduates as part like digital marketing and rest of the thing, because the candidates should also know what exactly the real market is, right? So what
Okay.
is your opinion about it?
Interesting perspective. If I were to introduce, I will not introduce real estate. I will introduce sales, and I will talk about introduce some practical sales approach that people can use when they are out for jobs. Because once you know sales, once you know the technique of sales, you can sell anything you want. You can sell the cars, you can sell the banking products, you can sell the insurances, you can be an investment banker and sell startup ideas, you can sell real estate. So more important is the process of sales, which works as of now, the practical sales knowledge.
Sir, but the thing is that we have seen it during the sales lecture that the examples which we get is about the rest of the industry, but not of the real estate, right? So what should be done for that thing? Because something would be different from apart from different industries. If we are selling insurance, so there will be a key points which we are supposed to punch to the client for the insurance part. So what will be that one for the real estate industry?
Okay, that is important. We talk about appreciation. We talk about how this can help their money grow, how this can help them in their retirement. We work on their insecurities. But anyone who knows sales can sell real estate exceptionally well. So some of my best performers were freshers. They did not know anything about real estate. All they knew were building relationships with people, building that connect, building that rapport, and then asking for money and pushing the client for closure.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Farhan Surya here.
Hi, Surya.
Yeah, Farhan, I just have a follow-up question, or rather, a point which I would request you to throw some light on. To what Sunubia was saying is like, I just want to add something more to that. Now, considering the factor that real estate is generally a big ticket product to sell, is point number one. Number two is it is something which involves a lot of time for a customer because it's a high involvement product. It is not something which can be decided easily. So, what kind of sales practices you feel are different from the other industry which a real estate salesperson has to follow?
Okay. The most important thing that you should know is how to create urgencies, how to create hype. As you mentioned, this process is supposed to be a lengthier process. It's supposed to take 30, 40, 50, 60 days. And we do it in a day. We do it in maximum 2, 3 days. So the most important skill that you should know is first how to build that trust, and second how to create that urgency, how to create that hype over the client and tell them that they have to take the decision immediately.
Okay. And one more thing, Farhan, like, see, I was also a banker for some time. So when we used to do financial planning for clients, I have personally met a lot of financial planners. Most of them, if they have to pitch a customer about investment in real estate, they
I'm sorry,
basically
could
try
you ask that
and
again?
hello,
Yes, hi, Surya.
am I audible, Farhan, to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So what I was trying to tell you is that, like, see, I was a banker some time ago. So when
Okay,
we used to do financial planning, so we were in touch with a lot of financial planners. So
okay,
when a financial planner talks to a customer about investing in real estate,
okay,
he or she generally and typically talks about the financial planner's point of view. I'm saying they generally
okay.
talk about real estate to be something which is to be kept for retirement, and something to be a very long-term revenue generator or something.
Uh-huh.
Do you find a different perspective? Do you believe that there can be a different way also to appreciate that way?
No, we always we don't talk about real estate as in terms of retirement. We sell real estate as a we tell them that you can get immediate gains out of it. So we have different payment plans. We have different types of products. There are some products which give immediate returns. There are some which give returns after 3, 4 years in the longer run.
Yeah, because if you generally talk to a finance guy, the financial planners generally have this. They will always say that you stay
We become the
invested
financial
and
planners. So we become the financial planners for them.
exactly. So when they have to pitch a financial plan, they generally treat it as a long-term thing. So should I conclude from what you said is that you also pitch it as a short-term investment as well? Hello.
120 seconds. Guys, just one more question. I will have to wrap it up because I have another meeting.
Okay, fine. So,
Yeah.
so students, if they have anything.
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir. Hello, sir. I am Akshay Thorat. I am an MBA student of finance from Imperial. Sir, I have a question. Sir,
Yes.
as you said, the Indian real estate will be $1 trillion industry by 2030. Sorry, 2030. And with this lower in GDP, current GDP is 2.4 lakh crores dollars, sir, and it will take a very long time to
Akshay, you're
recover.
not audible enough. Could you please be a little loud?
Yes, sir. Sir, as you said, in up to 2030, Indian real estate industry will be $1 trillion industry, and with the current GDP position, sir, what will be problems will face real industry to reach to $1 trillion?
So it may, with the current pandemic and with the current economic scenarios, it may not happen in the next 10 years, but it will surely happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So if it does not happen by 2030, it will happen by 2035.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Hello,
guys.
sir. Hello, sir.
So what I'll do is you can text your question to Parita, and she can text them to me, and I'll revert them on the text. I have another meeting, so I'll have to go
Sure,
again.
sure, sir. We'll do that. No problem. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us and taking out time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure is all. You guys were a wonderful
Thanks,
audience.
Farhan. You take care. We will catch up again soon.
Sure, sure.
Bye.
Thank you all the participants for being with us. Do keep in touch for many more such interactive webinars. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye.